Hello, I have a special guest. Welcome back to another episode of Mammal Monday. Today we're going to be talking about Cingulata, which is armadillos. So, talking about taxonomy, they are a type of eutherian. They have 21 species, which makes them the most diverse of the xenarthrians. Their only surviving family is the Dasypotidae, which there's a picture of that right there. The first of the Sinarthrans were thought to have emerged about 44 to 58 million years ago based on fossil evidence, so they are really old. They also represent the only living members of the order Cingulata, so armadillos are the only living ones left. So speaking about their habitat and distribution, this picture gives a good idea of the 9-banded armadillo. The others are a little more southern. The 9-banded armadillo is the one that we see. So when we see them on the side of the road, we're seeing 9-banded armadillos. They have the most northern distribution, but they are strictly New World, and they're endemic to Central and South America. The reason that scientists think that armadillos have moved so far up north is because of the loss of natural predators and just like global climate change is making northern habitats suitable for them. They do occupy a super wide array of habitats, so deserts, mountains, wetlands, sandy coastal regions, they can really do it all. Speaking about their morphology, though they're the most well-known, they do vary in size a lot, but they're most well-known for the scaly plates, which are called scutes, which you can see in these two pictures. This is a really good example of the difference in size. So the pink fairy armadillo, which is between 10 and 15 centimeters, versus the giant armadillo, which looks like a small pig, which is a lot bigger than that. But they all have long tails, small eyes, and pretty short and powerful clawed feet. This is because a lot of them are fossorial. Most of them have pretty big rabbit-like ears. You can see the pink fairy armadillo does not. But some of them also have long pointed snouts. Some of them have short snouts. Really depends. They're pretty diverse. They also all have specialized and unique lateral articulations on their vertebrae. So that's something that sloths have too. All different Sinarthrans have that. And the meaning of the name Sinarthran is actually speaking about this lateral articulation. So they basically just have an extra lumbar in their spine. The reproduction is pretty interesting. The dasypoids exhibit polyembryony, which is specific to them and pretty unique for mammals in general. So the definition of that is just where one egg produces 2 to 12 identical embryos. Identical means they're all the same sex too. Male and female, they have courtship prior to mating. The different species of armadillos all do different things, but in order to mate, the female has to he's just so in the way. Grom. The female has to flip onto her back so that the male can mount her, because the dorsal armor, if you think about it, would get in the way. But the breeding season for most of the species begins in the spring and summer months, usually between April, June. And then the gestation period varies per species, but female armadillos produce a litter of about 1 to 3 offspring. Some natural history facts. So armadillos can dig. Like I said, they're pretty fossorial, as a means to find food or to build burrows. Some species, like the pink fairy armadillo, are considered fossorial, completely fossorial. They're also insectivores, so they rely on olfaction mainly to locate food items, such as different grubs and worms. So they typically do remain on the ground because their plated armor and heavy bones do prevent them from climbing trees and swimming. But if you look at this picture, the Dasypus novemcinctus can awkwardly swim, which is such a funny thing to think about. But some species can curl up into a ball when they get scared, which I have a video coming up of. Some fun facts first. Armadillo actually means little armored one in Spanish, which is so cute. The 9-banded armadillo can hold its breath for about 6 minutes, which allows it to walk underwater for pretty short distances. And when you think about armadillos rolling up into a ball, that's actually only the 3-banded species that you would see do that. They can carry leprosy. That's kind of something that we just know about them, but the transmission is pretty unlikely. The CDC does recommend not to handle them for this reason, but otherwise transmission is pretty unlikely. Another fun fact is that the 9-banded armadillo can actually increase its buoyancy in water by inflating stomach and intestines by swallowing air. Here's a video. It'll play. So that gives a pretty good idea of what the armadillo looks like, the 3-banded only, when it rolls into a ball. So yes, I hope you enjoyed this interesting slideshow about armadillos and our special guest who really just was in the way for this one. But here are my sources. I hope that everybody has a great rest of their week and keep on the lookout for